Today is March 4th, 2022. Last night I had the parent-teacher conference on video chat, I suppose, or the Google Classroom that New York City uses or has the children involved in, which I don't participate. It happens in the classroom, and I don't really know how to follow along with it, or what they're being taught. The teacher did today. My son came out, and he was Anthony DeFrail III, 2012. He was very upset. I said, "What's the matter?" And he said to me, "I did really bad on this test." And I said, "What test?" I said, "I didn't even know you had a test." And so then the two teachers from last night came up to me, and they handed me this paper, and they had to explain it to me, because at first I'm like, was there vocabulary that I didn't see? I mean, I didn't see it in his folder this week. I was like, was he supposed to be studying for this test? And they said, no. I guess it's more of what one would call a pop quiz, where you don't prepare for it, just to get a baseline of if they've heard these words, are able to spell them, so on and so forth. So the first set of vocabulary words was a 2 out of 15 that he knew these off the top of his head, 2 out of 15 on these in 4th grade. Then they spent some time going over them, so short-term memory was worked like a working muscle, and then all of a sudden his score increased to a 50%. Now, my son was devastated and upset that he only got a 50. However, the teacher came over and said, "I just want you to know," she said, "I want you to focus on the improvement that you only got 2 right, and then you jumped to 50% right. That is what I want you to focus on, more than the first set of examples and then the second score." Because my son was just focused on a 50%. He didn't get over a certain number, so he was really upset. So that happened today, with them actually coming up and speaking to me about it, although he has a date on here of 2/17, but the teacher for some reason is just giving me the results even though it's March 4th, but it says 2/17/22 on here. But this is the level of work. Now, I said to the woman, or to one of the teachers, I said, "Now, what happened? Like, was it like a phonics thing? Because phonetics and phonics used to be the way that they taught spelling and used to make sense." So she said, "I did my thesis," the teacher said this, "I did my thesis in phonics, and it is really what works. It's how the children learn." She said, "But they did away with that in New York City for some reason, somewhere in the 1980s. I said, "Really?" And she said, "Yes, because again, I'm not involved in the schools. I don't know its history." So I was grateful for her to tell me that. And then she said that the two teachers had a conversation, the younger teacher and the older teacher, for like generational gap in careers. Even though they're sharing the same career, they had 2 different time lots of learning in upper education or preparing for their career together. And so one had learned to teach phonics in her upper education, far more superior than my own. And then the second one said that they did not teach her to teach phonics. They had a whole different curriculum system in place by the time she entered college, which I thought was very interesting as well. And I thank them both for helping and educating me, because it's a piece of really crucial data information so I can make this type of documentation on my own behalf, since my health is failing and the local area, I don't know how to participate. I don't know where to enter. So these pieces of how is the Department of Education, the DOE in NYC, New York City, working? They haven't been, apparently, since 1980s. They took out phonics. I don't know what that was about, but it's been a deteriorating democratic state is what they call New York. It's not a Republican state, but in order to function, we say inside the Pledge of Allegiance, it is, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. The republic still stands while the democracy is trying to function. And at the moment, it feels as though the democracy is failing inside the republic, which is what I'm reporting on because I am concerned for my own health and safety and for my children as well. And for the others that are here, I just don't know how to address them as parts of something, how to protect them and myself. I don't know what label to give. I wasn't given that type of answers. So it's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. And I use the word beseech. B-E and then C. So I can, what I see, S-E-E-C-H. Because it sounds like under siege. But under siege is what Ukraine's going through at the moment in heavy artillery fire. I'm in New York being under siege, but in a different context, on reserve, more beseeched is the word I use for the level of assault, I would say. Taking the conversation to just how am I leveling my words, or how am I adding flagrance or fuego, like a you tune in a bland recipe, BLAND. You use spices to add measure and tone and depth to a conversation. So that's what Language Lab does. I just don't know who they are and what label they go under for daily function, or who to reach out to. It's again star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza, and tonight is the 8th night, no moon.